Okay, welcome back to Let's Play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2X. What is this you're looking at? This is the park editor, and I have already completed a park for editing. No, I've edited it already. So now we must test play it to see exactly what it looks like. You are about to find out. The park editor in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 was very good for its time, but it's kind of limited these days. There's not much you can do with it. For example, I was imagining a park with all sorts of nice little fun areas in it and a whole bunch of gaps. Turns out the biggest park you can make is pretty small, and you can only have 10 gaps. Oh well. The gaps you can have are manual gaps, air gaps, grind gaps, and wall ride gaps. These need to be set manually, unlike the later Tony Hawk games. For example, if you let's take this rail gap for instance. Come on, rail gap. Maybe I should not have put the rails so high. Okay, this rail gap, Terry cut the riffraff, must be set to rail, or else it won't work when you grind it. You can set it to air and you'll have to jump it, or you can set it to wall ride and you have to wall ride through it somehow. Okay, here we go. Next to talk about the various gaps that I have set up. Let's see, if you transfer from here and land on this bench, you will get hurt. But if you do it just right, like so, you're still alive? Yes, I am. Okay, hitting that gives you the past for future gap. So let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, if you do a little transfer over this thing, this will give you the TC's half pipe gap. And if you land in the spikes, you get shafted. Okay. Here's something else that's interesting. If you manual from here all the way to here, you could not do that in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1. And it's true. So let's see, what other gaps are there to take a look at? Let's find out. Now, what's this big thing doing here, huh? Whoa. Okay, that's one way to get that gap. That's not the gap I was going for, though. So let's try again. Yes, odd glitches. Alright. What's this thing doing here? Oh, it's just to get this channel gap, which I've failed at for the second time in a row. But the old saying goes, third time is a charm. And I do not know who said that, but someone did. Apparently the third time is not the charm for me. So let's just forget about that for right now. And let's take a look over here. We have a rail that will take you to this thing, which will give you the Railway to Heaven gap. And the I'm the King of the World gap is supposed to be after that as well. Who built that stupid spike pit? Alright, here we go. Looking through again, we are going to try to get the King of the World gap legitimately this time around. Let's build up some speed. See, there you go. I'm the King of the World. That is an air gap. Air gap. Alright, the next thing I'm going to talk about is the lack of lip gaps. You cannot put lip gaps in this game. In fact, I'm not even sure if you can put lip gaps in the recent games either. I'm not sure exactly why. See, no stall. Alright. What else is here to do? Let's see. Here's a gap right here I have not done yet. If you jump the spike pit, that is the Grand Canyon, apparently. Alright. Let's see. I believe that is all of the gaps except for one, which I will demonstrate right now. Let's see. If you grind this from here and you go all the other way, can you guess what gap this is? I bet someone has guessed by now. Come on, anybody? What gap do you get? Oh, okay, I messed up, so I'm gonna have to do it again. Okay, it is an homage to the warehouse in Tony Hawk 1. If you grind all the way around, you get the holy shit gap, and it leads right into a pile of spikes for some reason. It's probably better if you start it from here, which I'm not going to do. Okay, now you can see the park itself is very small and there's not a lot of gaps you can put in them, but it's still fun to screw around with, and it's a lot better than the park editor in the recent Tony Hawk games, which really sucked. Tony Hawk's Proving Ground wasn't much of an editor, and Tony Hawk's Project 8 didn't even have one at all, so this is the next best thing. Of course, once they started, once you were able to put in like goals and they improved the rail tool, that's when the park editor started really getting good. So right now you've already seen this park like about 1,000,000 times over, but I'm going to skate through it again as well, or again for a bit more. Just because I can. Let's give you another look at this. Double railway to heaven, that's right. Gaps can be triggered either going backwards and forwards. So if you make a gap that says like something like going up, people can also do it going down. So if you make a rail that goes up and you grind it that says going up, you can just grind it down and it'll still say going up. I find that pretty amusing. Okay, and that is about it. I believe I hit every gap, all 10 gaps, and if I didn't, well, I'm sure I did. Alright. That is the park editor for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2X. Let's get out of here and go back to the editor. I would like to see something. Let's see. Actually, that's it for right now. I will see you next time. This is actually the end of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. So I will come back next time and we will play a different game. Can you guess what game it is? I'm sure you'll figure it out. Goodbye.